We begin this evening focusing on the weather. Good Monday evening, everyone. Welcome to Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano. After a windy day left some residents without power, things are starting to calm down. For the very latest, let's check in with meteorologist Janna Brown. Janna.
Well, Chris, we saw our wind peaked early this morning. In fact, some gusts topping 60 miles an hour on Mount Tom. Close to that in Pittsfield, Adams to Orange. Barnes at Westfield, Westover at Chicopee. Everybody hitting close to 50-mile-an-hour gusts out there early today. And winds continue to whip this afternoon and evening, though they are starting to become lighter now. So we're seeing gusts currently at about 20 to 30 miles an hour on occasion. Sustained wind is still close to about 20 miles an hour. So it's for sure making a difference out there today. Now we have cleared out completely. Great sunshine from our Monarch Skycam. 47 degrees, but with sustained wind at 15 miles an hour, it's feeling more like lower 40s, 30s in the hill towns. Now the actual temperature getting close to the 30s in the hills. Right now, Pittsfield and Blandford are both down to 40. Meanwhile, we still have middle to upper 40s throughout the Pioneer Valley. Skies are clear. High pressure is building in tonight, so wind will continue to lighten. In fact, almost becoming calm close to midnight. We should have wind drop down to almost like 1 or 2 miles an hour by sunrise tomorrow. So becoming much lighter. And with that, we're going to get cold in a hurry. 10 p.m. we're down to 39 degrees. Overnight lows dipping into the middle 20s for many, so it might get a little frosty in spots. But tomorrow, once the sun comes up, we have a fast warm up on the way. By 11 a.m., we're already close to 50 degrees. We'll have a healthy breeze out of the south and plenty of sunshine. More on your forecast this week in just a few minutes. Chris?
Janna, thanks. A warning tonight about a new wave of COVID-19 cases in Springfield, this time among the young and unvaccinated. Springfield city officials say 10 police officers in that category are out with the virus. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo digging deeper. She joins us live in Springfield with more. Audrey?
Police Commissioner Cheryl Clapprood says she is encouraging all of her officers to get the COVID-19 vaccine, but she does confirm that the 10 officers who are out did not have the shot.
Local healthcare officials say the average age for a person hospitalized with COVID-19 is going down, and that young people are increasingly getting sick enough to require medical attention.
There is a numerical increase of young people now in these last couple of weeks.
Springfield City health officials say the young and the unvaccinated make up the bulk of this surge.
We also could be potentially seeing an uptick from St. Patrick's Day and opening up the Commonwealth as well as the nation.
The Springfield City Police Department is down 10 officers due to COVID-19.
They are young women and men, employees of the Springfield Police Department who chose not to get vaccinated. And from what I can tell, they caught COVID not from work environment, but rather from the home environment.
Those under the age of 60 are not yet eligible for the vaccine, but police officers have been able to get the shot since phase 1 of the state's rollout plan. Western Mass News asked Commissioner Cheryl Clapprood roughly what percentage of the department is still unvaccinated.
120 to 130 members of the department actually were positive for COVID. So a lot of them were waiting for the 90 days to get the vaccination. And I think I had about a 50% participation in the vaccination process for those of us that never had COVID.
In addition, Clapprood says a recruit in the training academy has also tested positive, requiring a retesting of the class and possibly jeopardizing their upcoming graduation ceremony. Clapprood says she will not penalize those who choose not to get vaccinated.
I know there's reasons out there why people don't want to be vaccinated, but we certainly are encouraging it.
And while the department has gone back to two-person cars, Clapprood says she's still encouraging mask wearing.
We're still doing all the proper precautions, and we will continue to do so.
Clapprood tells me that having 10 officers out is not enough to put her department behind. She says she'd have to be down 25 to 30 officers for the department to really start feeling the absences. And that's important because right now, she says, the city police department is fighting back against what she calls successive instances of retaliatory gang violence. Live in Springfield, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thank you for that live report. Taking a closer look now at what Springfield leaders are calling a gang war in the city. They're calling on state police to help out after several connected shootings just this weekend. Western Mass News reporter Lindsay Kane joins us live in Springfield with more on that. Lindsay.
Chris, police say there were at least 3 shootings between Friday night and Sunday night that they believe are all connected. Police Commissioner Cheryl Clapprood says on Friday night, 2 people were shot on Quincy Street around 8:30. Both victims are still at Bay State Medical Center. Clapprood says both had previous gun charges and are gang members. Then on Saturday night, police arrested 29-year-old Calvin Jones on several gun-related charges. Clapprood says he ran from police but was eventually caught. Now, 2 hours later on Saturday night, a man was killed in a shooting on Shawmut Street. Western Mass News has just learned the name of the victim, 26-year-old Camry Starks of Springfield. Police say 36 shell casings were found in the area of that incident. Then on Sunday night, another shooting happened at La Quinta Hotel on Congress Street. No one was injured. Clapprood says they believe these shootings are connected and involve known gang members. Springfield police are now seeking help from Mass State Police.
What I'm looking for from the state police is their presence. I'm looking for them on the evening shifts to help us with additional patrols so I can make sure neighbors feel safe. These are targeted attacks. They're not random. But there are so many shots being fired that I feel we're dealing with fire. Someone eventually be struck unintentionally or an officer will be hurt.
Mayor Dominic Sarno says at this time no one is cooperating with police. Now, coming up later on Western Mass News 11 at 11, we hear exclusively from the victim's family from that Saturday night shooting with more on how the community needs to come together to help stop this violence. Live in Springfield, Lindsay Kane, Western Mass News.
Lindsay, thank you for that live report. A status conference for Vladimir Zukovsky, the West Springfield man accused of killing 7 motorcyclists in a deadly crash in New Hampshire, taking place earlier today. Western Mass News reporter Jordan Jagalinzer listened in to that hearing over the phone. And Jordan, it looks like the trial is now likely to be delayed.
Chris, that's right. And one of the victims we spoke to is disappointed by the news as he hopes to see Zukovsky charged with the death of his friends.
The New Hampshire trial tentatively scheduled for this upcoming June in the case of a West Springfield truck driver accused in the deaths of 7 motorcyclists will likely be postponed.
At this point, the state's position is that a June 21 trial date or potentially a 2021 trial date is really unrealistic at this point.
Vladimir Zukovsky faces multiple counts of negligent homicide, manslaughter, and driving under the influence following a crash in Randolph, New Hampshire on June 21st of 2019. Josh Morin grew up in Chicopee. He was the second biker to be struck when that truck and trailer driven by Zukovsky crossed the center line of the road, hitting Morin and 7 of his friends as detailed in police reports.
I suffered a stage 3 shoulder separation to my left shoulder. I broke my 6th rib. I collapsed both my lungs. I dislocated, broke my wrist, broke my ring finger on the left hand. I fractured my pelvis in 4 different spots.
Those are just a few of Morin's injuries that he's still recovering from nearly 2 years later. Now Zukovsky's trial could be pushed back for months as the state and the defense work to get more information on his case.
Defense perspective, what is the earliest month that you believe this case would be ready to go to trial?
September, I guess, would be where we would, where we think that potentially we could still be ready, provided the state, gets us the materials, in a reasonably timely manner.
Morin tells Western Mass News the news is disappointing.
This is almost the last hurdle in being able to start to put it in the past a little bit.
The judge saying Monday he will work out a trial scheduling notice as prosecutors highlighted earlier deadlines from this year, which also haven't been met.
I can't wait for, finalization with him because I want to be done with him.
Zukovsky has pleaded not guilty and has remained behind bars since the crash, but Morin says that's not enough. He wants Zukovsky put away for 35 years.
It's 5 years per dead person that he killed. That doesn't even take into consideration how many other lives that he affected.
Other months mentioned for a potential trial today included November, December, and potentially January of 2022. For the latest on when that trial will take place, stick with Western Mass News both on air and online for the very latest. Reporting live for Western Mass News, I'm Jordan Jagalinzer. Back over to you.
Jordan, thank you for that live report. The Westfield firefighter charged with enticing appeared in court this afternoon for his dangerousness hearing. 42-year-old Richard Paul was released with special conditions. Court documents obtained by Western Mass News show Paul was monitored for a month by state and federal authorities as he tried to lure who he believed to be a 13-year-old girl to multiple locations. His next hearing is set for June 16th. The Department of Public Health releasing today's COVID-19 data. The state's positivity rate over the last week sits at 2.37%. The state also reporting 15 new deaths due to the coronavirus, and so far, more than 2.2 million Massachusetts residents have received one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. For a full look at the numbers, check out our free Western Mass News streaming app. And we're learning more about the 2 new vaccination sites opening up right here in Western Mass. While there's no official start date for the Big E site, it will be capable of vaccinating between 750 and 1,250 people per day. Over in Springfield, the city announcing a new partnership with Curative to launch a vaccine site at the Bay Area Neighborhood Resident Resource Center. This neighborhood location will be for Springfield residents. The hours of operation there are 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday.